People are addicted to their bodies. See, the body is more so illusion, and it's not the ultimate. It's not the best feeling. The best feeling is stuffed inside that body, and people love the sensations of the body, but more so important, they don't know anything else. So they fall in love with the sensations and lust of the body. But that's the thing, is that all goes away when you die. So you want to reach beyond that before you die, which is easy, and you've been there before. Now, you see, people are becoming obsessed with the body because of society and the way society is. It can be blamed on society. It can also be blamed on yourself. Partially on yourself, partially on society. Now, the body, you got to understand a couple, this happens all the time. Society, it goes hand in hand. People get together, they form a little house, maybe make a little family. Okay. But there's no community. There's no nation, so to speak. There's no community. There's no tribe. There's none of that. Our families are all separated and they're all over the fucking place. And most of the time they don't get together. So these couples, boy and girl, get together when they're young. Then they separate from everybody because it's all about them. It's all about their body. Oh, because society is also pushing them in this direction. So it's not entirely their fault. And there can be lessons learned there for sure, but we need to come together. There needs to be a coming together. This is this ignorance of this love. It's a one-sided love. Not that I want to be in no one's romantic, physical relationship. You can keep that to yourselves. There is something beyond that, what everyone harps for all the time. We have 8 billion people in the world. How many people actually feel lonely? A lot. Now, that being said, lonely is just a thought, but at the same time, we're not necessarily meant to be alone or just this one-on-one relationship. It can be that for sure, but we wouldn't be subdivided as we are right now with all these buildings around, with all these houses. Everybody has their own thing, has their own big thing, needs this, need that. There's a lot of needs and wants, but most importantly, it all comes back to the body because people are so obsessed with it. And society puts you in that way to be all about the body. If it wasn't for your relationship, what would you be doing? You put it all for that relationship. Thus, you would put it all for the kid that you, or kids you would be having. But what about every other aspect in life? What you'd like to do, what you want to do, what you want to conquer, and so forth. There's really no end. But you could maybe want to travel somewhere, start something, but you want to feed a family, which there's nothing wrong with, but it's just your family. What about the animals, the other aspects, nature, other things that are going on that need addressed in the world? But you just want to focus on a little family, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm not going in this in a derogatory type of sense. There's nothing negative about this. But you can start a family and still do great things. People stop and they settle. It's a problem when you settle. You should never settle. Ever. Ever. Too much settling. Too much laziness. Most importantly, way too much obsessions with the body. It all goes back to that. Obsessions with your mind, your thought. Your thought means something. Everyone has a thought. Most of the time, they can't even control their thoughts, let alone have the thoughts they want. Most importantly, third of all, the thoughts eat them up. So do you see where I'm going with this? So obsessed with the body, but you are not the body. Society, you could say that the devil, demons, if you want to, they don't know either, are more important than the body, and thus are, and ultimately are more than the body. It's not that you shouldn't take care about the body. You got to understand there's a difference when you and a loved one, whatever, go in the middle of the forest. And do you see, you probably heard of that before. A lot of people say that, but it's always about them. Until we get over the selfish ego, you will. It's not that you even have to. You don't. But you'll escape and you'll see a greater picture. You'll have more fulfillment. You'll love life so much more. There'll be so much more gratitude. Yeah, it can be you and one other person, maybe kids, whatever. But just imagine a whole village, a whole tribe. Um, that's what we yearn for, so to speak. And not everyone has to do that, of course. How would I stay? Stay tuned for more. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All bodily functions, you will one day rise above it all. Because what will happen? You will get tired of those bodily functions. You'll want more. You'll always want more of the bodily functions because they never end. Sex never ends. Ever. Until you rise above it. Then it is no more. And you will see that there is something that feels better than sex that you'll long more for, which is the longing for more, is this. And once you feel this indescribable, irresistible feeling, you won't want to go back. It's like a high and you don't want to come down. It feels so good. It feels so much better than sex. Most people haven't felt that. Have a nice one.